Oh, he's actually regenerating, isn't he? Oh man, I'm not ready for him to go.
Don't want to do this alone. I'm never alone with you. Joy to the world!
Oh, it's Joy. Oh, shooty man. Didn't get long enough.
That's exactly the word. This has been an absolute joy.
Yes, it has. Oh, wow. What? Sorry, what? What? Billy Pipe? Sorry, what? What? What?
Didn't you ever do that with your crazy comedy antics? Didn't you go a little too far?
What?
Yeah!
I've had deaf people go, don't do that again.
You just did it. You just did it again. You did it again.
I'll be getting, well, I won't get any calls.
No. See, you did it again.
Yeah.
I
know this is Robin Williams.
Get off.
Yeah, stop right there.
No, stop it.
Too late now.
Too late now.
And the blind guy's going, what did he do?
Stop it.
Stop it.
The only safety...
Nice to be here.
Yeah, stop it.
I like the fact that people actually, you know, that you can actually have an instrument that sounds like a cat.
Are you offended by the word nigga in it?
Why? Where'd that come from?
Did I say that? It's just that there's a big flap in various parts of the country where people want that, you know, great American novel taken off the shelves because of the word nigger. Nigger Jim is a character.
I thought you would say the various parts of the country where they enjoy hearing someone say that on television.
Oh, no.
And this is cable. It's
No,
like
I
we're
wouldn't.
sitting in Memphis like this. I like that, Kevin, boy. You see him say nigger right in front of him? I like it. Nigger sitting 2 inches away. He's just looking in the eye.
We can pick it up right there. We got a plane anyway.
We did? I know this is a long shot, but if I remodulate the long-range sensor array, I might be able to make them sensitive enough to detect that ship. Ow.
And he's obsessed with food, especially chocolate.
There, you see?
Would you let me get my lines out, please, young man?
You, Mark?
Say it again, Cos?
I can't find anything wrong with your internal time data.
Thank you.
And as far as I can tell,
Thank you.
primary systems check out fine. Okay.
Thank you, Cos.
How do you feel about it?
I feel really silly.
My foot! Gage it from my foot!
Good.
Action.
What is wrong? Whoa! What's wrong with you?
I know what you're planning, sir. I will not be surprised.
What are you talking about? Tracy!
Not fucking interrupt me! God damn it! I told you that in the car! You're always running off off at the mouth. You got a motor mouth. There's a motorboat stuck in your mouth. Just shut up. Sit the fuck back down.
Okay, we are here. All right. So, uh, miha, shaka, su. I don't know. That's just whatever. Folks, peoples, ladies and gentlemen, and everything else. What's up? I am here. It is raining outside as we speak. It's May. It's the weather is so weird because it goes from like extreme. It goes from like, hey, we're ready for summer. We're ready to burn your fucking shoulders to death, melt them away, rip out your freckles, and just go through the splinters of your shit and and cause some discomfort. Anyway, you like my exaggerated, pre-summer feel? Anyway, so it's really hot. Then just like yesterday, uh, Vegas got emo. So it's pretty much a goth kid on prom night, just slicing themselves up. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. We have a show. It's an episode. I just don't know what we're going to talk about really. So, based off of what I see, yeah. You clicked on the thumbnail. That's what it is. We've got some Fantastic Four post-credit scene rumors from a test screening. There's Superman rumors happening when it comes to reshoots. James Gunn taking out the silly. And Fantastic Four, a movie that, going back to Fantastic Four, it's a movie that I just hope does well. There's a big block right in my brain when I say that. It goes, it won't. You know what I mean? Because you just know what's going to happen. But a lot of people are excited. There's folks out there. I have friends who just love this shit no matter what I tell them. They're just like, yeah, but it's still good. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just not, But I don't tell people what they should or shouldn't like. I'm not trying to sit here and influence you to tell you what you should and should not like. I'm not that guy. I am the person that will tell you what I think. And if I align with the most popular opinion, fine. If I don't, fine. I don't care. So what I'm trying to say is is that, like I said in every video so far, is that when it comes to pop culture, when it comes to movies and television, the things that we all love, the things that are coming out that we are excited for, that we want to be excited for, but because of the past almost, let's say, 6 years to some even more, we haven't gotten anything great. We've gotten things where we're like, well, it's good enough because it isn't shit, compared to the things that we've been getting. And that's not even good. Okay. We live in a time right now where we're kind of going, we'll settle for mediocre. And that's not cool. I am not going to go see Superman and expect the best movie in the world or a movie to change my life or anything like that. But I want to see a good Superman movie. If you are all about getting rid of the old regime and bringing in James Gunn, a veteran filmmaker, someone who directed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, 2, and 3, including the Christmas special. Yeah, okay, on paper, it sounds fantastic. Brilliant idea, smart move, WB. What have you been doing? This is the greatest move of all time. But here's what's happening right now in real time, okay? For the folks out there that are like, I'm excited for Superman, but you're seeing all the crap, but they're like, I'm still excited. Okay, here's what's going on. Creature Commandos. James Gunn released Creature Commandos as part of the first ever thing for the new DCU, right? Pre-Superman and all that stuff. Creature Commandos. Fine, I get it. Taking something that not a lot of people are aware of and putting it mainstream, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea if it's written well and it's done well. It wasn't. It was shit. And it was a total opportunity for James Gunn to self-insert himself in that show, and there are lots of things that are not, you would not think, oh, that's from the source material. No, that's James Gunn, being James Gunn, taking over the material and making it the source. Because let's be honest, you and I, we don't read Creature Commandos. We don't care. So when it was released on HBO, this was the opportunity for James Gunn to kind of make his own sort of vanity cartoon project, if you will. Not 100% a vanity project, but there's a lot of him in it. All right. This dude thinks he's Alfred Hitchcock, where he can self-insert his shit in it. Listen, the difference between James Gunn and Alfred Hitchcock is that Alfred Hitchcock has more movies that were good than James Gunn had. Okay. And plus, Alfred Hitchcock's a fucking legend. He was a legend in real time when he was doing his stuff. James Gunn, he's cool. He makes cool movies, but like I said, I wouldn't have him around my children, or children, period. No, I'm not married with children. I'm just saying I just wouldn't have them with kids. So there's that. But just Google his stuff on Twitter from 10 years ago. I'm not going to get into that rabbit hole. You can though, and you'll look at me and go, dude, why didn't you go into that rabbit hole? But with Superman coming out, a lot of the marketing is all about James Gunn. And I cannot stress this enough. And I'm not trying to tell people to not buy tickets. I'm not trying to tell people to not buy the toys. I'm not trying to influence anything. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I think of the Superman hype that I wish I could be on board for 100%, but I'm not. The promotion for this film, the marketing is absolute trash. They released posters today that I thought was a joke, but it's not. I thought they were fan made, but it's not. So when I saw this morning on X, I went, "Are you serious?" It's as if everyone is trying to prove me right, and I hate it because I really wish it could be like Batman '89 for me, because I was like what 3 when that happened, but I never got to experience something like that. The closest thing that I got to experience is that celebration of something coming out from a popular character was The Dark Knight. The viral marketing, the marketing for the film itself, it was all about why we should care about this sequel, why we should care about this Joker, considering at the time in 2008 there really wasn't any live action Jokers except for Jack Nicholson and Cesar Romero. So Heath Ledger was a big deal, and of course the unfortunate death of his, um, of Heath Ledger surrounded the marketing of The Dark Knight at the time. So that was pretty bad. 2008 wasn't a really good year. So it, and not just for because of that, but for lots of reasons. So it just it was a combination of just a lot of stuff, but it worked. It brought people's attention to the film because Batman Begins wasn't the smash hit, but it was a hit. It made people go, "Oh shit, that wasn't Batman and Robin." Oh, made it successful. But then when people were on board for The Dark Knight, that movie was just a smash hit all on its own. I mean, it made history. It's considered still one of the greatest Batman films of all time, if not the greatest Batman film of all time. It's to me, it's not the best Batman film. I give the Mask of the Phantasm that title, but this would be a close second. Um, it's just such a wonderful classic Batman Joker story. So going back to Superman, God, I could talk about Batman forever, Schumacher cut style. But with Superman, I'm not getting that hype. I'm not getting that. I'm not going online looking for the next thing to be marketed. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of having a Superman movie coming out is awesome. It's like, cool, who's playing Superman? David Corenswet. Never heard of him, but he looks great. And then you look at the costume. And then you look at the other costumes of all these characters. And then the one thing that I cannot complain about, absolutely, like 100% about this movie that's coming out, that I'm like, everything that I've complained about and everything that I've nitpicked, that's the one element that zero issue, no worries whatsoever, and it's terrific casting. and that's Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane. Lois Lane, yeah, you could say, well, you just got to get some girl in there. No, Lois Lane has to have a bit of an attitude. She has to have that drive, that makes her want to go out and do this, to risk her life for the story, because that's what her life is. That's what she wants. She wants that damn Pulitzer Prize, and she's going to get it no matter what it takes. But she's also got a very, very big soft spot for Kryptonian aliens. and and throughout the trailers, that's the only thing that I'm like, that's consistent. That's consistent. Sure, it's a woman wearing stuff, and she just has to have dark hair. Great. It's not just that; it's your body language. It's the way you talk. It's the inflection. I mean, the way I didn't like the beginning of the new trailer that came out. I didn't think it was a good look to have Superman lose his temper in front of Lois Lane. If you're going to present this movie to everyone and give us reasons why we should forget about Man of Steel, the DCEU, and all of that stuff, the first thing you see is Superman, Clark Kent, getting very defensive and acting like a soy boy because he's not getting his point across. Like, look, I know that's not the case in the film. I know there's context behind it. I know that Lois Lane is the one person that he depends on when it comes to information, or when it's his own personal self, doubt and all of this stuff. Lois Lane is his confidant. I get that. So she's challenging him, but I just wouldn't release that in the trailer, you know what I'm saying, as the opener. I would have just done something like a generic sunset, a sunrise on the Kent farm, and hearing Jonathan Kent's voice, talking about who he is and why he's important and all that stuff while you show clips of Superman. I would have done something like that. Then you would have had me on board. The music in the trailer was terrible. It's a fucking electronic version of John Williams' theme, and it's just like, come on, like, how hard is it to just get the fucking track and just play it? John Ottman did that for Superman Returns. Get that? I mean, they did it for the marketing for Superman Returns. And that worked, and it got people to go see the film, despite that the movie was ass. Total ass with shit in the crack and just hanging, dingleberries hanging. Yeah, but this film looks nothing like Superman Returns. In fact, this movie looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. But what is going to make this film stand apart from the rest of the garbage that we've been getting? What is the point of this film happening if it's not going to be any different than, let's say, Shang-Chi or The Eternals, stuff like that? Because I'm being serious, because Superman is the granddaddy of all heroes, man. He is the guy, okay? There is no question about it. There is no, well, actually, with your fucking well, actually, people. No, Superman is the guy, okay? Look, there's some guy on who probably comment, well, actually. Okay, for you well actuallys out there, again, Superman is the guy, okay? There's no excuses. There's no way around it. His character, his comic, was the thing that inspired all of your favorite fucking comic book films, comic book books, graphic novels, all of this stuff. Every artist, every writer was inspired by Superman. And those people who were inspired are old as fuck and probably dead now. And you got people today who look up to those people who looked up to the first ever Superman. So you can't tell me that Superman is dismissed. He's just some guy with a cape and all this stuff. Superman is the greatest fucking superhero of all time. And so when you release Superman, like Man of Steel was released, a lot of people got on that film, and it was insanely nuts how like people were trying to find ways to destroy this film and just kind of just disrespect it because it wasn't Chris Reeve. It was such a weird, retarded fucking time to be a Superman fan in 2013 when you go, everyone's like, it just it didn't work because, Superman just destroys things. Doesn't work. What? Just a year ago, the Avengers came out and destroyed and leveled New York. You guys are cool with that. You guys were cool with Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, and the Hulk fucking things up and possibly killing a lot of people in the way. But Superman fights Zod. It's just mostly in the air, mind you. Okay, and A lot of people were just hating on it, man, and it was insane. So I always will stand and die on this hill that Man of Steel is one of, not the greatest, but one of the greatest comic book films of all time, only because it's not trying to be in the shadows of Richard Donner and John Williams, which unfortunately James Gunn is exactly 103% doing. Okay? And look at the fucking trailer. Like, come on, man. And then go watch the trailer for Man of Steel. And you can kind of, not kind of, but you can clearly see the difference that one was trying to tell a story, one was trying to emulate what was done before, thinking because of his name and because of what he's done, Guardians of the Galaxy and all that shit, well, $1 billion hit. I'm going to make the greatest Superman tale ever. And I'm going to self insert my own life into this film. My fucking dog. Now, I think it's adorable. I love dogs. I love dogs. I think it's adorable that James Gunn loves his dog. I think when he shows off Ozu, I think it's brilliant. I do the same thing. I post so many pictures of Daisy and Shadow, and then Sadie at the time, and Shadow's little friend, Badger. All of these people, Rocco, all of them, right? I'll post all of them. I don't care. I love dogs. I would never put Daisy in a Superman movie as Crypto. Like Crypto is, I like Crypto. I dug Crypto. Crypto in the cartoon, he's cool. I love Crypto the dog, in the comics. I think it's clever, it's smart. But when James Gunn's talking about his dog Ozu and how he's like this dog that loves to bite ankles and shit and all that, I'm like, okay, so you're doing that with Crypto. So you're making Crypto an obnoxious dog that not even Superman can really tame. Great, awesome. That's great. But you know something? Who knows? It could be awesome. It could be great. It could be really dumb. Okay. All I'm saying is I'll give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt. Look what he did with Rocket Raccoon. I think maybe he could make that work with the dog. It's just annoying that this movie is also disguised as a vanity project in a sense because it's James Gunn. It's a lot of him in it. When Zack Snyder directed Superman, or sorry, Man of Steel, same shit. When he directed his Superman movie, there wasn't any self inserts. It was telling a alien first contact science fiction story with Superman in it, and I dug that. Uh, so there's just not there's a lot of problems for me, okay, for me, about the marketing of this film. However, I hope that this is a case of garbage, shitty marketing, fantastic, brilliant movie. Because I want to walk out of that theater like, dude, it's back. Okay, Superman's back. The superhero genre is going to stay. It's going to elevate to the new next level because this is now the trendsetter. Okay, and that's what I want to feel. That's what I want to feel. I felt that when I left Man of Steel. I went, that was a fucking Superman movie. And then you go online and everyone's like, Christopher Reeve. So, and I love Chris Reeve. Chris Reeve Superman is so great. I feel bad for Richard Donner and Chris Reeve. Everyone's trying to rip him off. It's trying to rip him off. And I get it. Maybe people will go, well, they'll probably feel honored because, their work was so amazing and it just stood the test of time and da da da. No, you're literally ripping it off and just throwing in some new stuff, you know? Because Superman does look like Superman the movie with friends. So I know it sounds like I'm totally negative about it. I'm just being a realist, man. I just think that this is going to it's gonna have problems. I don't think it'll flop at all. I think it'll make a lot of money on its first weekend for sure. Do I think it's going to beat Man of Steel's worldwide box office? I don't know, dude. If you were to ask me 5 years ago, I'd say, fuck yeah, it'll make $1 billion easy. Not now, dude. This is post COVID. This is a whole different time. To get that billion, you either have to be a video game movie for kids and there's no plot, no nothing. It's just to bring your kids, to bring your teenagers, or a kids film. perhaps. Like Lilo and Stitch is racking up money, despite that it's a shit remake, but it's still racking up the cheese, man. And it's not from under cheese, that cheddar cheese. So you've got all of that, going on right now where you've got some rarities. A lot of superhero films 6 years ago easily can make $1 billion. Fucking Captain Marvel made $1 billion. For fuck's sake. Okay. So today, okay, with those numbers that most movies are expecting, people say Batman v Superman was not a financial hit. Well, in today's standards, it kind of would be. And so with Man of Steel, I always say this because it's true. It will be true. I hope it doesn't happen. But if Superman does not make as much as Man of Steel, oh man. Oh man, the Snyder Bros are going to have a field fucking day with that shit for years to come. And as much as people don't want to hear that, it's true. Okay? I know the facts are disgusting. Like, oh my god. But it's true. So, but if it beats Man of Steel, even by like 100 million more or whatever, right? Or a million more, doesn't matter. That's fine. I think it needs to make at least 800 mil worldwide to get, okay, it's going to get a sequel. But then there's rumors now that hello screen. There's rumors now that if Superman is successful, that James Gunn is going to begin focusing on a world's finest story, Batman and Superman. Now, where have we heard this from before? Okay. And people were just like, it's Zack Snyder. But if James Gunn does it, oh my God, it's gospel. You see where I'm going with this, man? When Batman versus Superman was announced, people just shit all over everything. So when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman at the time, it was an opportunity to shit on the project. Hey, they got Ben Affleck. Hey, they got this guy. He was great. He was one of the fucking best Batmans, actually, to ever have graced our screens. Okay, so Batman versus Superman, people were like, oh, that's too early. Superman already, he's his own sequel. Well, the rumor, and the rumor is pretty strong, and I could totally see this happening, is that if Superman does great, James Gunn's going to do a world's finest film. It's great when he does it because, oh man, it's James Gunn. He can touch my kids any day. But if Zack Snyder does it, it's shit. It's the double standard. It's like if you wanted to, like, oh fuck, I don't want to talk about politics, but it's kind of like James Gunn is Joe Biden and Zack Snyder's Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? It really is like that. Like if you were to like synonymize that with like political figures, that's pretty much what it is. Like no matter what Zack Snyder does, he could come out with something great. He could cure cancer, AIDS through his films. People are gonna go, not my cure. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so weird. Like the movie sphere has turned into like wrestling or like political debates. It's so weird. Like just talk about the shit, man. Like I talk about the stuff that I talk like I don't think Superman's going to be a smash hit, okay? And that's very controversial to say online for the people that are like, "Oh my god, this movie's great. It'll be great. It's going to be exciting." You go to a comic book store, you go to a collector store, you talk to people about this shit. Nobody gets worked up. Agree to disagree. It happens all the time. So the internet is it's bullshit. That's what I'm trying to say. So, okay, look at this shit. Okay, so we got the poster here for Superman. That this was released actually a month ago. This poster, I believe it was like a little bit before the trailer. Maybe I don't know. It's I could do that. I could do that on Photoshop. The poster, the art of the poster is dead. Okay, they don't market movies anymore with these amazing posters. You know, like Drew Struzan. I almost died. I fucking stuttered. Drew Struzan, who unfortunately has Alzheimer's, so he had to retire, but he did all like the great spot. Like I want, not just me, everyone wants those posters back in theaters. Just imagine like the artwork back in the day, like your Indiana Jones films, the Goonies poster, all of this work. Even he did work on the first Harry Potter poster. Like there's so much greatness in the history of theatrical posters that yeah, I look at this shit today and look at this. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this kind of marketing? Like, it's shit. It looks like a CW series. Oh my god. And Guy Gardner looks like total shit. Their costumes look like shit. Oh my god. Like, he looks like shit. He looks like shit. In fact, okay, I'll give it this. Mr. Terrific looks slight, but I'm not saying much, just slightly better than everyone else. But it's, ugh. Oh my god. Let's go back to that one. Hawk Girl. Hawk Girl. She looks terrible, dude. This is a 300 and something $1 million film, and now they want to say it's a 200 and something $1 million film because they didn't want to get the backlash. No, bullshit. You all really you all leaked out the budget for this movie, which is astronomical. Astronomical, dude. That is like those numbers, that's like doomed to fail. I don't care what fucking movie you're making. Okay, you can make a Batman movie, which is an easy hit, but you will not move the needle. I'm not nervous for it because I don't care if this movie fails. Um, I do want it to succeed in the fact that like the superhero genre will still continue, but I'm not going to lose sleep if Superman fails at the box office. Okay, like there's other films I can watch. There's loads and hours and days of content. Television shows and animated series and all this stuff and films. I mean, I don't, guys. Uh, all we have to do is sit here and wait. But this right here doesn't convince me that this movie is going to have it's going to be the one that brings back Superman and brings back DC, brings back superhero movies. No, I don't think so. Um, this right here, objectively looks like shit. I don't care. It looks like shit. And then, just God, man. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. So there were rumors that Superman had a test screening, whereas James Gunn and company had to take out a lot of the goofy stuff. If I could find that article, great. Let's see here. See. But yeah, there was this. I read this a couple days ago, where I was like, "Uh oh, uh oh." So let's check this out, shall we? Let's do this, shall we? Okay. Da 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 da. Okay. So Superman reportedly gets these last minute changes after a test screening. And it says here, and they may be for the better. A lot of news sites were running with this one. So let's actually check this out here. Let's read along together, shall we? All right. So this is from comicbookmovie.com, which there's times where I can't stand this site, but this is just some news that I just wanted to share with you guys. Down to the final stretch until the release of James Gunn's Superman movie, which will also be the official kickoff of the new DC Universe franchise. Production has been airtight at DC Studios and Warner Bros. With very few leaks, at least until now. Very few, my ass. There's been quite a bit. Okay, including the subplot with Lex Luthor and the monkeys being controlled the incels, the internet. Oh god, this movie's, if that happens, holy shit. That's all I got to say. As Superman moves out of the edit bay and starts to be shown to audiences, reports about the feedback to the film are starting to trickle out. One new report claims that some initial test screenings didn't go as smoothly as Gunn and Warner Brothers Discovery hoped, which prompted a series of changes in the form of reshoots and other creative tweaks. The only question is, were those changes for the better? Well, World of Real has reports from sources close to the production of Superman who have conveyed that tensions are high at Warner Brothers as the release approaches. Of course, it's a big film. The altar where the superhero genre is at, it really depends on if this film does well. Like I said, Superman is the granddaddy of heroes. You fail Superman, how the fuck are you expecting us to have faith in another Avengers movie? Okay, especially with how Marvel lately has been lacking in quality. An early test screening allegedly received a mixed reception, which prompted a cascade of changes to be made to the film. And that's where things get interesting. Superman allegedly had to cut down its humor. And that's one thing that I was nervous about with this film, is that, yes, with Guardians of the Galaxy, the humor works. It's warranted, okay? There's times where it gets annoying a little bit, especially during Volume 2, where there's moments where you have a moment for a character, and then it's completely just undercut by some, not even a funny joke. It's just this moment of wannabe levity that doesn't even really work. But you're on board with it because most of the movie is fine. So the report goes on to say that the original cut of Superman was much more in line with Gunn's previous superhero films, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, DC's The Suicide Squad. Jesus Christ. In terms of humor. However, WB executives were not entirely sold on Superman's level of humor, and Gunn had lessened that tone, including cutting numerous comedic scenes and beats that seemed to be part of an overall trimming of the film to reduce the runtime. I wonder if one of those shots is going to be that shot from the trailer where you saw that stupid bitch with the fucking cell phone taking a selfie shot when you see the kaiju monster fighting Superman in the background. Because that right there, when I saw that, I was already like, dude, no, come on, no. Superman can have humor, okay? But to act like it's Chinese algebra to figure out, oh, let's see how because it's not hard. It's really not hard. Okay. Um, okay, anyway, that seems to be part of the overall trimming of the film to reduce the time, a subject that has already stirred a flurry of rumors in a response from Gunn himself. According to the latest rumors, Superman has been trimmed down by a total of about 25 minutes. That's good, because this movie does not need to be 3 hours long. The report gets even more intense, claiming that one of Superman's editors has removed from working on the film mid-process, and that the film has since been restructured. That meant an entirely new way in how the story was being presented to the audience, with some key scenes being moved around, while new scenes had to be added to bring the new version of the film together. Finally, a second composer was reportedly brought in to help the sonic score of the film better match the new tone. Wow. That's the shot right there. That's what I was talking about. This right here. It could work, it could not work. Context is all that matters, right? Yeah, but no. Just don't put this stuff in your Superman trailer, James. Oh my god. Like just it oh god, that trailer was not good. Then you got these like shills online that just desperately want to get the free access from WB, to go to the premieres. They're all like, the trailer was amazing. It just brought hope and all this, and the way Clark Kent and da da da. Like, you ever watch that guy, Coy Jandrew or Jan, whatever he's fucking, yeah, that guy. Yeah, he really loves the free perks. There will be a lot of fans who hear these rumors and won't wait on any substantiation. My brain is like Swiss cheese. substantiation to start freaking out. Ha! We did it. We did it. Whether it's Zack Snyder's fans who will love hearing that Gunn's trademark humor is being restrained, Gunn's fans who will be upset that the same formula they loved in Guardians and Suicide Squad won't be intact with Superman. Well, it's easy. Those aren't Superman fans. They are Guardians of the Galaxy movie fans. They're not comic book fans. Yeah. That right there just tells me that somebody doesn't really know what they're doing. We got to take out a lot of the humor out of Superman. Okay. That's fine. I get it. But my fans are going to be upset. Like I said, they're Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn fans, not Superman fans. Okay. More than anything else, it may be the worst look for the new DCU brand that this is all sounding too familiar with how the DCEU brand ultimately unraveled. Superman wasn't just supposed to be a blockbuster hit film. It was supposed to be a sign of DC Studios moving forward with a new kind of confidence and assuredness that fans and executives could bank on. As the release date approaches, we're clearly not there yet. Superman is released on July 11th in theaters everywhere. So, okay. So what I take out of this is test screenings happen. Okay, test screenings happen. That's a normal thing. Test screenings, it's a good thing because then you can work on your film, tweak your movie before it comes out for the entire audience to see, before it's shown to the entire world. Okay, so that makes absolute sense. The fact is this, and my point is this: James Gunn is so focused in the marketing about himself and what he thinks of Superman, and he wants, he wants the world to think that he's not this guy, this creepo, or something. I don't know. He kind of is a creep, maybe. I don't know, depending on how you look at those tweets that appeared 10 years ago. That everyone's like, well, he was young at the time. Bro was 42. That ain't young. Okay. But anyway, so but James Gunn hasn't really told us why we should like this film. It's more like, hey, remember Superman the movie? That's what this marketing is. And I hope that the film is the complete opposite. There's things in it that look great. It's just no matter what happens in the film, these things here will still bother me. The suit. The suit looks like shit. The suit looks like utter shit. Like, when I saw that on set, I was like, no, that's got to be like a prototype outfit that he has for like 10 minutes in the film. Then he gets the initial Superman. No, that's his suit, man. He's got the elbow pads and shit like that. Like, that's, it's the same costume designer that James Gunn used for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and you look at Superman's suit, you kind of see where it's like, okay, they're not that creative. It's just garbage. It just looks like shit. It looks like Captain Krypton. Like if there was a Captain Crunch in space, this Superman looks like that. The lines and all that. I'm so sick of the lines and suits and shit. And again, it's like Zack Snyder did it with Man of Steel, with Henry Cavill. The suit was a Superman suit, and it was the detail on that suit was awesome with the alien writing and shit. I mean, come on, you can't you can't compare it, dude. You just can't. So even if you don't like Man of Steel and you think it's the most biggest piece of shit pile of garbage film that you've ever seen in your life, I swear to you, there's people that think about Man of Steel like that, but they love Henry Cavill and they wanted to see Henry Cavill get a chance in being in a movie like this Superman. Which, even if Henry Cavill was still in this movie and it was directed by James Gunn, I would still say the same things that I am saying right now. That it does feel like a superhero vanity project, a lot of self-insert. I would be even more pissed because Henry Cavill's back as Superman, and we're not getting really anything about him except, oh man, let's pretend that we're reading a comic book together, guys, and take a photo shoot on Superman Day. to make it look like and give people the illusion that we're nerds. Fuck off, okay? That shit was so fucking corny, dude. Just make a good Superman movie and shut up, release the movie, and just let everyone just fucking soak it up, and then we'll see what happens, okay? Don't mean to get a little nasty with James Gunn there, but it irritates me the fact that we're this close to the film, and I have no reason. There's no reason. There's absolutely zero reasons why I should go out and see this film when Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Superman and Lois, all this stuff that's come out about Superman, it's still fresh in my brain. Okay, fresh in my brain. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope it does great. I hope it breaks records. I hope it makes me eat shit and I go, well, I was wrong. All my worries have been laid to rest because I want to sit here and give you a excellent review for Superman. We will see. We will see. Now, speaking of Superman, Michael Bay's Superman. I read this the other day and I went to bed and all that stuff, and I was like, that would be a pretty cool idea. And then the next day, the internet just went all over the place with this. So Michael Bay, actually, long story short, Michael Bay, director of Transformers, The Rock, Armageddon, Bad Boys 1, 2, was considered to be the director of a new Superman movie. This was before um, you know, the fuck. I'm sorry, my brain is just fried right now. This was before James Gunn and the new DC regime was brought on board. So, all right, let's check this out. Because Michael Bay directing a Superman movie, whether it's true or not, would be fucking awesome. Now, I didn't like Transformers 2, 3, and however many. I could care less. Anything after 1, I could care less. I don't even care what happens. Don't care. Whatever. We move on. Transformers 1 was awesome. It was fun. It was stupid, but it was fun. Okay. And like I said, The Rock is my favorite Michael Bay film. To me, it's technically it's a James Bond sequel with Sean Connery, telling the last story of that James Bond. It really is. Go back and watch it. Then it is a James Bond film. The Rock is a James Bond movie. But so let's see. Michael Bay's Superman. Michael Bay's Man of Steel 2. What it would have been? Shit, man. It would have been it would have been great to see Michael Bay's style of filming, like the way he shoots his like American flags and shit. Like, I mean, you couldn't get any more American than that, showing scenes of Superman, with those American flags in slow motion and shit. God, it makes me annoyed because we're not getting it, you know. But Michael Bay directing a Superman movie, my God, that would be. I don't think it would be like the best film ever, but I definitely would have loved to see Christopher McQuarrie's version even more, because that opening that he talked about last week on last week's episode, where I showed the clip of Christopher McQuarrie talking about what his version of Superman would have been. And I think that they were close to actually doing it, but shit happened. So this fucking thing's happening. This new DCU, which I hope is good. But Christopher McQuarrie, I would have dug his film. I think he would have made a actual Superman movie. He would have made Superman different than what he was in Man of Steel, but not too different in the sense that it's like two different characters or two different, like they don't share the same universe. Your 5-minute opening with like a montage of what's Superman been doing since Man of Steel and Justice League and all that stuff, and showing him doing all these things, these amazing heroic acts, the things that we want to see, saving a fucking cat out of a tree, maybe. I don't know, for all of you fucking you know cat tree saving fans out there, that you desperately want to see for some reason. But we didn't get that. We didn't get that. So, and I could talk about that over and over again, but Man of Steel 2 would have been great to have. It would have been it would have been fine. I think the biggest mistake was to put Batman versus Superman as the movie right after your Superman film and not giving Superman his due, giving him his own film, to see where he's at in life. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, so let's talk about this. I've been trying to put it on hold for a minute here, but I just got to talk about this, man. What the hell happened with Doctor Who? What the hell? What in the happened with Doctor Who? Well, the show went woke. That's just no question. It went woke during the Jodie Whittaker era, but some can argue and say it started to go woke during season 7, season 8, depending on how you look at it. I think the best, and I'm talking about quality-wise, the best of Doctor Who ended after the 50th anniversary episode with the 3 Doctors. Just in my personal opinion. I love Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi is a brilliant doctor. He is up there with Smith, Eccleston, Tennant. I mean, he is good. He's good. When I see Peter Capaldi, I see the doctor. He just wasn't given good scripts. But there were several episodes throughout his era that completely blows my mind and melted my heart, melted my brain, and yeah. But as a whole, his era, it was like, man, I wish you had better scripts, dude. But he elevated those episodes and he elevated that show during the time. If you had any other actor in there, I think it would have just been sour and the ratings would have been terrible. So when Jodie Whittaker was cast, they cast a female doctor, and I don't think they cast a female doctor because they were like, well, gee, let's see what happens to this character. Maybe it's a thing, that unfolds. And unfortunately, Stephen Moffat set the ground rules there just so nobody could say shit later on when one of the Time Lords in the episode after, it's the one where he went back to Gallifrey to get Clara. He pulled Clara out a second before she was killed by the Raven. Anyway, that guy dies. He gets zapped by the doctor, and they regenerate it into a female. And so all of us at the time should have realized and been like, oh wait, are they alluding to something here? Is this going to be a thing in the future? Because the BBC have probably already contacted them and said, we need to make the doctor a female. Stephen Moffat, when you regenerate your doctor, turn him into a female. Why? Well, because, we the elections are coming up, guys. And how great would it be if we bring in the new doctor as we bring in our first female president? What an era. It didn't happen. One of them lost. The other one suffered ratings immensely. The storylines were shit. Come on, there's a pregnant dude in one of the episodes. Fuck, that just speaks volumes on its own. And then, when that was over, we all got excited because David Tennant was coming back, for the 60th anniversary episodes. And then Ncuti Gatwa was announced as the new doctor, and we're like, oh, he's a dude again. All right, cool. Dude, doctor, hot companion, let's go. TARDIS. No. 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 What we got was Ncuti Gatwa. There was maybe 1 or 2 good episodes out of that whole season. Every episode I was hoping for it to get better. The Christmas special, as it's not perfect by any means, but the Christmas special, Joy to the World, I thought was his best episode of all of everything he's done, because it felt like a Doctor Who episode. It wasn't the best script. There was lots of plot holes. There was lots of questions where I was like, I don't know if I would have made that decision for this character. I don't know if I would have done this. I think some parts were dumb, but as a whole, it was like a very mid Matt Smith episode that I could watch and tolerate, and I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I like it. I like the fact that he visited Bethlehem at the end. That was cool. I dug that. It was cool. It's a Christmas special that, maybe I'll get my ass whooped for this, but I would watch this special along with the Matt Smith specials and the David Tennant episodes, and all that stuff. I'd probably watch it last though, or as background noise, but tolerable. His second season was absolute shit. Like shit. like if you have like the bubble guts right now and you know what's about to come down in that toilet, okay? That was the season. And the last episode was just absolute the last two episodes was absolutely bizarre. It's one thing when you bring in the Ronnie. The Ronnie would have been great 10 years ago. I would have flipped my fucking mind if I would have seen the Ronnie 10 years ago. I would be like, holy shit. But it's not special now because it's been tarnished. It's been tarnished. The whole subplot with Mrs. Fuckface, old lady who looks at the camera, I don't fucking care. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The special effects were great, though. Special effects are amazing. But the stories are shit. And Ncuti Gatwa, I don't know if they told him to like gay it up for the second season, but holy fucking balls, dude. Dude, the woke viewers hated the last episode. The woke viewers hated this last episode. They didn't like the show. They didn't. So whoever Russell T Davies is catering to, it's a non-existent audience. And then they want to say, well, it's losing millions of voters. It didn't have millions of viewers. It doesn't have millions of viewers. So Russell T Davies saying, well, it's not the ratings we wanted. Dude, tell us you are unaware of the entire room without telling us you are unaware of the entire room. Russell T Davies, he's a spiteful asshole. I'm sorry what happened to his husband years ago. I understand he grew up at a time and lived in a time where being gay was difficult. I get that, dude. I get that. But on the flip side of that coin, it doesn't mean you have to be a bigot asshole. And in your scripts, you have to self-insert your own opinions and your own hatred fueled towards straight white men. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Get off fucking television because no one's going to watch your shit if you do this. You fucked it up to the point where your woke audience turned on you, bud. Doctor Who needs to take a 10-year hiatus and needs to take a 10-year break. I got a great idea for this. You want to know what my idea for a reboot of Doctor Who? Imagine a first episode, right? Imagine this concept of going back to a time where you could tell a story about somebody who is like having these massive weird dreams, doesn't understand who he is. He's a convenience store worker, he's a fucking an office pencil pusher, whatever. Just a dead end job, right? But he has to live in England, of course. But you know, just somebody who it's just a normal Joe, right? Right? Has weird dreams, goes to therapy. His therapist is like, don't say these words, don't say crazy. That we don't talk about that in here. We're all about positivity. And then this man, runs into people and runs into familiar faces. We see River Song. How can that be? She's dead. Well, there's all of this stuff, like visions and things like that you could just implement that into your story. Like, oh, is it real? Is it not? Bring in Rose. Bring back Rose, not as the Doctor, which is another thing that I fucking can't. Let me talk about this for a second, okay? Rose regenerating, or shoot Tigatwa regenerating to Rose. That has got to tell you that was shot at the very last minute. They have no idea where to go with this. They didn't want to show another Doctor, there's no plans. Nobody greenlit a third season for this guy. So you regenerated into Rose. Is it Rose or is it Bad Wolf or is it the new Doctor? I don't know. And it was so bad the way it was done. When you see Rose's face, she's like, "Well, hello." She looked like she sharted her pants and she got caught. But it's I don't know what to think. And it's funny because 20 years ago started with Rose. 20 years later, we end it with Rose. And I think maybe perhaps it's full circle. If this is the last season of Doctor Who, it's poetic, I guess you could say. We started with Rose, we end with Rose. Doctor Who needs to take a 10-year break. But anyway, like I said, going back to my idea, I think it would be great to have like a character, figuring out who he is again. And that allows the audience who has never seen Doctor Who or people who want to get into it, watching this thing, through the eyes of this guy, you're learning about what Doctor Who is. Something, you could create something amazing and bring back some of these characters. You could do things that you got to get a different showrunner. You got to get a different showrunner. I want to see showrunners like, like I'm not saying these guys specifically, but like get people like the Duffer Brothers, who are showrunners for Stranger Things. You need people like that to handle something like Doctor Who. You can't just have a homosexual writer who just wants to be spiteful towards straight white people and just use Doctor Who as your platform, because that's what the fuck just happened. It's more tarnished than Star Wars and Star Trek, and that's pretty bad. So, rest in peace, Doctor Who. Rest in peace. You were great while you lasted. It's not over for me. I will still collect the stuff. I will still watch the show endlessly. I have hours, days, weeks of content with the original show. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but this is where being by yourself and watching something that you like, that you feel comfortable, and it's your comfort. It's like your comfort food. It's your comfort television, you know. And it's good stories, man. You'll sit there and watch some of these episodes and go, "Holy shit! If they made that episode today, whew, man!" I'm saying there's lots of good stuff. That's why watching the new stuff, I'm like, "What the fuck happened with this show? Like, what happened?" The BBC, y'all need a spanking. So, I don't know. Like I said, it'll never change. I love this show. Still the greatest television series of all time. Will always be the greatest fucking television series of all time. Next to Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, all right. So let's talk about the Fantastic Four here before we go. The Fantastic Four has been getting some screenings, and depending on who you listen to, some have been positive, and some are just meh. Not that I have a report here, but I do know some people. I know of people also, and I've heard some people online talking about it. So I'm hearing different versions, hearing different opinions, but I'm noticing one thing that is consistent and the same within all these different views. The ending is MCU garbage. MCU garbage, because here's the thing. You've got Sue Storm and the female Silver Surfer battling Galactus. I'm not sure if that's true. Could be a spoiler. I'm not sure. I apologize. But yeah, while the guys are at the sidelines, I've heard people say it was okay. I've heard people tap dancing around like they're fucking tap dancers and shit, tap dancing around the fact that it's mediocre. It's not that great, because I understand people want a great Fantastic Four film. And if you're going into this movie invested in it because, man, it looks great, they finally got the costumes, they finally got the 60s futuristic, it's everything I've wanted, until it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so, and it's laughable at this point because it's like Disney still hasn't learned their fucking lesson. So at this point, I really don't care if it flops. I kind of hope it does. If they want to get into that and double down on their bullshit that's making them lose money in the first place. Bob Iger's upset because of all these decisions, the lack of shit. Well, dude, it's your fucking problem. Yeah, I love how fucking CEOs don't love to take accountability for things. It's insane. And they think we're stupid and we don't see this when there's the internet that exists and there are leaks and reports and people talking. It happens, Bob. It's called fucking facts. Um so yeah, are you excited for the Fantastic Four? I'm curious. This is a genuine question because it's the movie that is going to really make us think, okay, this is the movie that's going to prepare us for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Doomsday has to be it's going to be massive. It's going to be big in scope, scale. You can't fuck this up, and I think that they are. But hey, that's just me. You know what else is also me? Me going and leaving because I've got shit to do. Not really, but it's been fun, and I will be releasing some stuff this week, things that I want to talk about. But guys, you have been awesome. I have been seeing you guys write in some cool questions, some great topics for me to discuss in future shows. Sometimes there was a great suggestion that was given to me 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't really talk about it because it wasn't relevant anymore. So, but keep throwing those in. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back, of course, next week talking about pop culture. But you will find me again this week. I will be releasing some stuff here, some things here. But as far as this particular podcast, this episode, I will be back doing these next Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever one of those days for sure. So, okie doke. I'm outro. I'll be back next week, but until then, I'm out. Peace. Peace.